We have officially reached the last week that we have with this mini excavator that was loaned to us from a friend. I talked to him today and he's gonna come, I believe, this weekend and pick it up. So it is crunch time. We got all different kinds of excavator projects that I need to work on, and we'll see what we end up getting done this week. For now, I'm gonna start with a project that we started yesterday. We got totally sidetracked because the boar almost got out of his enclosure, and so all three of us thankfully were home, and we had to kind of double down. We had to fix the fencing, throw a bunch of cattle panels over there and just kind of patch everything up, and that got us to dark time. So time to clear this out. We already have 6 T-posts sunk, but after sinking them, we realized that we want to make the enclosure a little bit larger than we had planned to. I was gonna do one wide and one cattle panel wide, so 16 feet by 32, and we just decided to go ahead and do 32 by 32 because there's gonna be so many of them in there. I'm really hoping that we can make this almost like a training pen for them to get them trained to electric single wire fencing and just kind of get them used to that, because you have to like train them in a physical enclosure or it's just going to be a disaster. So I'm kind of hoping to do that. I still need to get like the poly wire and some of the attachments that come with it. We already have the charger for it, so that shouldn't be a problem. But the wind's kicking up, so I'm gonna hop on the excavator and bring you along for the ride. We'll see what we get done. So we had some very unfortunate news over there. We're only going to be able to go 1 cattle panel deep. This is really zoomed in. We're only going to be able to go 1 cattle panel deep because we were clearing the line to go 2 deep, and we came upon what appears to be the previous owner's landfill. That whole area over there, one deep is fine, and it's just like, it's maybe like a 15, probably not even 15 feet, maybe like a 10-foot circle area, like an oblong circle-ish, what do you call it, an obelisk circle, whatever. Anyways, oval, that's the word. It's like an oval shape, and it's a lot. So that particular patch of ground is not going to be used for anything for a very long time. We're just going to leave it where it is right now. When we have access to like a dumpster, maybe a bulldozer or something like that, and a larger equipment, we will get that area cleared out. But until then, it's just going to be untouched, because obviously I'm not going to grow animals, I'm not going to grow crops on that area. Heaven only knows what's in that pile. It is literally just like trash, household garbage, cans, plastic, bags, you name it, it's over there. It's literally like a landfill. That sucks. But the area on that side of it, I walked around and looked at everything, and it looks to be just fine. So I think it's just going to be that little area there. It's just not going to be touched. Probably the only thing we'll ever be able to do with it, I mean, we're not going to do anything with it until we clear it out. But once we do clear it out, build something on top of it, like a structure of some sort, or it will take many, many years of biohazard cleanup, fungal stuff, mushrooms, who knows. And then even then, I don't know if I would feel comfortable. Anything short of some very intense testing, I don't know if I would be comfortable growing anything in that area, whether it's crops or animals, because that's just not cool. That's just not cool. So that project is finished. We're just doing the excavator portion of it. So let's go turn us some compost, shall we? I'm afraid to go in there because of snakes. What? Snakes. It's a perfect hiding spot for snakes.
I haven't ever seen any in this area.
I killed one the other day.
Oh.
Copperhead.
Oh, fun.
It was a baby, but it means they're out of hibernation. There's basically only two. The brown copperhead, and there's a black snake that's not really going to do anything. Got the compost pile cleaned up completely. I think that's the first time since I made it that it has been tidied up like that. I don't know if I've ever shown you this area here, but this is kind of the garden stuff graveyard. And the reason it has become a graveyard is because of all the leaves, and I'm terrified of snakes, and I know that snakes like to hide in leaves. So I'm gonna blow this out with the weed, with the blower, and just try and clear out some stuff from here and hunt for snakes. I'm not gonna hunt for snakes, I'm gonna avoid snakes. Soil over here is really good. So what happened was, yesterday I got through almost everything I hoped to get through, and then the leaf blower stopped blowing, so I had to stop. And Miso almost got out of his cage again. Our boar almost got out of his thing again because he's very strong and he can break through just about anything. And I'm gonna guess his ladies are in need and he's trying. So anyways, the night before, I got literally 0 hours of sleep. 0 minutes. I did not fall asleep. I went to bed at 8, and then I finally gave up at like 2:30 in the morning, and then I just watched YouTube videos. So I have succumbed to the illness that my son brought into our home, and I'm very sick. So, yay. But last night, on a good note, however, I did sleep like, I think I slept like almost 13 hours. So hopefully it won't last too long. And I have really bad insomnia, and sometimes it's just really bad. Anyways, like I said, the blower stopped working right about here. So we now have a giant pile. Oh, sorry, cat. So we now have a giant pile of leaves in our driveway because I did not have the mental fortitude yesterday to pursue a solution. And I feel like that's not going to happen for a couple days. So I'm going to see if I can get my son to come out here later and finish these. We need to get him in the boar's pen, or we need to get him in the pig pen because they need some carbon. It's funky. This here is one of the very few things they kind of suck about having a homestead. Right now I just want to be inside drinking coffee and doing nothing. They're not gonna wait. However, thankfully, at least, our chores don't take that long to do when you do them on basic, like, necessity level. You can do more things, but generally speaking, I usually get through my morning chores in like 10 minutes, sometimes longer if I have to fill up all the, sometimes longer if I have to fill up the pig waters. That takes a long time. Even that is not like actual hands-on stuff. It's just like sitting there waiting for it to fill up with water. And if you couldn't see, this fence does literally nothing to keep the ducks in. Watch. They walk right through it. But they also don't go far at all, so I don't really care. If they start to wander, or if any of them get picked off, like any of them, if any of them get picked off, I'll put the other fence back up. But right now I just don't care. We got 3 roosters in there waiting for their fate. It's just what we do with extra roosters on the homestead if we don't need them. So one by one they'll just become cat food. Anyways, I'm just blabbering, so I'm gonna wait for this pool to fill up, and then I'm gonna go inside, and we're gonna do some stuff to hopefully help me not feel so sick. The first thing, and the thing that I think is the most important to do when I'm sick, is not what most people do, okay? It is nothing. Nothing is better in this particular regard. Nothing is better than something, okay? And that is cough medicine, cough drops, cough pills, all of those sorts of things. Honestly, I went scrounging through my cupboards to try and find. I did not expect that I would find anything, and this stuff it's for kids. It's like Pediacare stuff, and it expired in 2017. So who knows how old this actually is? This is back from the day. You know, it's when my kid was a kid. That stuff has a pretty long shelf life, so I can only imagine when I actually purchased it. But I don't take anything. I take literally none of the like over-the-counter cough aids and medicines and pills and potions and all of that kind of stuff. I don't take any of that. Okay, once upon a time, back before I discovered how bad that kind of stuff is, you know, back long before, long time ago, I used to get sick probably once a month, maybe once every other month. And it was bad. It was so bad. I was like basically incapacitated, could not move. It would cause my asthma would just flare up to the point that even my inhaler would not work. I couldn't move. I had to sleep on the couch because I couldn't go up and down the stairs because I couldn't breathe afterwards. It was awful. It was horrible for like a week, basically straight. And at that time, you know, I was a single mom. I had to go to work. I had to do all of the things that I had to do. And I believe that the cough medicine and all those sorts of things were helping me get through. And then I saw something, I want to say it was by Dr. Mercola. It was an article about something. It was an article somewhere. I believe it was Dr. Mercola. I could be wrong. But in that article, he said that when you take these, you know, pills and potions and stuff like that, it removes your immune system's ability to fight back, prolonging the cold and ultimately making you feel even worse. And I was like, yeah, right. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna test this. The next time that I get sick, I'm not gonna take anything, and I'm gonna see if it's true. Sure enough, it was gone in 3 days and I could function the entire time. And I haven't taken anything since. And that was probably, I want to say my son was around maybe 6 or 7. He's 22 now. So it's been a long time since I've taken any kind of medicine. Well, any kind of like cold medicine. I don't take medicine generally much at all, but at any rate, that's beside the point. So the reason that works is, you know, when you have a cough, when you have a runny nose, when you have, you know, chest congestion, when you have a fever, when you have all of these sorts of things, it's not the illness that is what is the illness is causing it, but that is your immune system's way of fighting back. You have a runny nose, it's trying to flush out the virus, the bacteria. You have chest congestion, it's trying to get it out. You have a fever, you better hold on to that fever and nurse that fever, nurse it, like encourage it, not in a bad way, you know, there's too high. But, you know, if you happen to get a fever, that your immune system is amped up and so powerful at that point. It is going to war inside of your body. That fever is a good sign. It might not be comfortable, but it's a good sign to a degree. Again, there are limits. So I just don't take anything, and I don't take anything pharmaceutical, I should say, because I want my immune system to do what God created it to do. I wanted to fight it off, you know? And anytime that I do get sick, which is very rare, I get man flu, and I don't like it. I'm whiny. I don't get sick often enough to be able to deal with it. Back in the day, when I used to get sick constantly, I could plow through just about anything, and I would just suck it up, buttercup, and be about my day, because I used to get it so often. It was like if I didn't plow through it, I would never be able to do anything. So I just, you know, suck it up and just do it. But now I get sick so infrequently that I'm just like, I just want to feel better. I just want to be myself. But at any rate, I don't take anything. I never do. And then once I don't kill off my immune system by taking things, then I like to do things that encourage my immune system. One of those things is to make up a good old batch of liposomal vitamin C. I just make up one batch, and that usually lasts my husband and I both for a while. And then we just take, you know, like one shot. If you're actually sick, I usually take it like 3 times a day. And then if I'm not sick, like if he's sick and I'm just trying to prevent it, or vice versa, just like 1 shot a day. And you can take an extreme amount of vitamin C without reaching your tolerance level, if you know what I mean. I can't get my brain to work. My brain doesn't work when I'm sick. These encapsulate the vitamin C and make it so that it goes past your area that would normally induce a vitamin C threshold, flushing, if you know what I'm saying. And it makes it so that it can absorb into your cells directly, basically. I'm definitely simplifying it, but you just mix up a batch of this, keep it in the fridge, take a shot of it. I mean, sometimes I'll make up a second batch, but usually I don't. Once it's done, pour a shot. It's a little more than a shot, but whatever. It doesn't taste good. Rinse out your mouth. Very acidic. Another really good thing to do is to go outside, get yourself grounded. Today I'm very lucky. It is a nice, beautiful, sunny day. I'm gonna get some vitamin D on my skin, get my feet in connection with the earth, and I'm just gonna sit out here and chill for a little while, let the sun. One thing that's really important when you're outside, especially if you're outside intending to get vitamin D, is you don't wear sunglasses. I have done some experimenting with it, and like last year I took a lot of road trips, and well, for not road trips, but like I drove to a lot of like vending events, and I did some speaking engagements and stuff as well. And anytime that I was tired, I would just take off my sunglasses, and a couple minutes later I was fine. I'm not even kidding. It was like a direct connection. It was crazy. But also I've read that the mechanism to begin vitamin D production is in the eyeballs. And if you block out the sun, if you're not like I don't know if you're supposed to like stare directly at the sun, but allow the sun to make contact with your eyes, and that is what triggers the conversion of vitamin D from the bacteria that is on your skin. I don't know all the mechanisms behind it. I just know that if you want vitamin D, if you want to produce vitamin D, don't wear sunglasses. Also, I don't know if that applies to a hat or if it's just like directly connected to just the sun on the eyeballs. I don't know that much information. So, I also have found that it is true with sunburns. I don't get sunburns unless I'm out in the sun for a really long time. Like I was out in the sun the other day and for like the entire day, whereas normally after maybe an hour, my skin would have been completely scorched, like beyond recognition, especially the first time being out in the sun of the year. And I was outside for probably about 7 hours, and only towards the very end of the day, I got a little bit of a sunburn on the top of my back, and that was it. And I was outside the entire day. So I just found that if I don't wear sunglasses, I don't get sunburned. So, yeah, take that what you will. And the other thing that is very important, of course, fermented foods. It's got some vitamin C in there. It's got a bunch of the good bacteria and yeasts and acids and things like that that are really good in helping to boost your immune system. So, which is kind of the main theme when I'm sick. I just do things that help my immune system. I do things that I should be doing every day, and hopefully I will begin to incorporate things like that every single day. I mean, I do fermented foods every day, but when you're incorporating these sorts of things every day, you're much less likely to get sick. But it also, just having a healthy immune system is good for just about everything. So, I have those 3 ferments that we made together. Well, actually, no, it's 4. As soon as I'm done soaking up the sun, let's go package those up because they are ready. So we got our ferments. We made these together last month sometime. And so now I'm going to go ahead and repackage them in smaller jars because our fridge in the house is very full, and so I need to package them into smaller jars so I can keep any excess in the garage fridge. One thing to note here with this guy right here, I don't know what's happening to it. It's probably mold, but I don't know. But I did notice yesterday when I went to check on it that the liquid around it had dehydrated. Evaporated. It evaporated. So I refilled it. And that's when I noticed the liquid around it, or the white stuff around it, and it's just gotten worse. I'm gonna save that one for last, just in case it is mold. So repackaging is a totally optional step that you do not have to take. If you have the space in your fridge, well, I mean, you probably want to repackage like a crock or something like that. But these other ones, like, this is just a pain in the butt. And the jar is honestly too big because you can see that the contents of it is way below. But anyways, I want to repackage it just so that I can keep all 4 in the fridge and there's not room for that amount of stuff. These, I should have thought about that. It's still charged. Once it's ready to go in the fridge, you don't need to put any weight in there. Oh, I got purple all over my cool shirt. Darn it. You don't need any of this stuff unless if you're gonna keep it in there for a long time and like you're not planning on consuming it. Either way, it wouldn't hurt anything if you keep the weight in there, but you don't have to. So let's give this a taste. This one is just the red cabbage that we did together. That's surprisingly sweet. I'm gonna get my pH tester. Now I'm regretting taking it all apart. I might not be ready. I don't know where it is. Meter. Found it. It was where it belonged. You ever create a space for something and you put that thing away in the space that you created, and then you look for it and you find it in that spot and you're like, I forgot I made a space for that. Oh yeah, it's plenty acidic. I'm surprised it's so sweet. It's still dropping. 2.72, 2.67, 2.66. We are well within the range of a safe ferment. I'm baffled how sweet it is. Okay, I really like this. I've never made a straight just a purple cabbage ferment. And I know that metal kind of confuses some people because everybody says don't use metal, don't use metal. You can use stainless. And when I'm repackaging it, I just give it a light pack. I don't like cram the heck out of it in there, but that's what I do. This one in particular, I might cram it in there just to make sure I get it all in one jar. This is really good. How is that sweet? I'm baffled how sweet it is while being so dang acidic. That's cool. Mark it so me from the future knows what the heck it is. 311. I just realized today's the day I was supposed to go pick up chicks. Well, I wasn't supposed to, but today is the beginning of our local chick days. Make sure you put the sticker on there before you put it in the fridge, otherwise it'll be hard to stick. Now for one of my favorite ferments, pink kraut. Still got some action. Looks nice and healthy. Smells nice and fermenty. Good stuff. 2.64, 63, 258. Dropping. All right, we're good. You need a new battery. And this is what I usually use my cement lids for after I open them from canning. By the time this jar is done, the lids will just typically, they'll be rusty, so I just toss them at that point. Next up is the beet kraut. I have tasted this one time since I made it, and it just wasn't quite fermented enough. So I put it in for longer. 2.80, 75, 74, still dropping. We're golden. This is so messy. It's everywhere. Almost forgot to taste test this with you. Dang, that's good. Last up is this weird one. Looks good. I bet that's salt. It really feels like salt. I'm not gonna take any chances though. Yeah, that's salt. Weird. Oh, it smells so good. I usually just use a towel or something to soak up the brine that's left over in here. 2.52 and dropping. We're good. Okay. I'm so excited for this one. This is a new fork, by the way. Oh, I could literally eat this out of the jar. This is so good. Pretty spicy too, but like pleasant spice. So with a crock, there's probably a lot of different ways that you can decant it, but I like to use either tongs or just flip it upside down and dump it into a bowl. I'm using the tongs now because while I do think it was salt on the rim, I don't know. So I want to make sure that I'm not getting any contamination in my jar, just in case it is mold. I'm so sad. There's some left over inside the jar, and I'm gonna have to make that a part of my dinner. This is so good. Y'all, I'm gonna link this video that I made these 3 ferments in so you guys can check it out, because this one I just made up. Well, the beet kraut one I made up as well, but that one is long established that it's good. But this one, I just made it, and I just made it up. It is so good. Y'all, if you like kimchi, what's the other one? Curtido, anything along those lines of like a nice spicy ferment, y'all need this one. Make it. Do it. It's so good. The chipotle in it just gives it like just a very unique smoky heat, and it is so good. So anyways, as you guys can kind of tell, I'm sure, as to how I've felt this morning and how I sounded this morning, I'm already starting to feel significantly better. We'll see how I feel in the morning, because usually like I wake up in the morning feeling crummier, and then as the day kind of progresses, I feel a little better. But hopefully all these things that I'm doing and will continue to do will help me to feel better. So I hope you guys enjoyed this completely random video. And if you want to know how I made these right here, be sure to check out this video right here. It'll give you all the information you need. And peace out, sauerkraut.